Well, hey there, American Farmsteadhers. This is Jenny with the Gramstead Family Farm.
And Donna with Hazel Bell Farm.
And we are coming to y'all from Northeast Florida as two American Farmsteadhers doing our best to share our homesteading experiences with you in hopes that you would grow a little food of your own.
Yeah, this week we are talking about how things don't always go as planned.
No, they don't.
On the homestead.
No, they don't. And sometimes you'll find yourself wondering, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's if it rains, it pours kind of seasons. So we have that too. It pours every day, literally right now.
Literally. Yes, like we are definitely coming into the rainy season.
Yeah.
Which means my grass is growing like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're grazing our cows pretty much on just the neighbor's land and then our one small pasture out back, like before we had cows out in our front yard.
Right here at the door, yeah.
Right. And so we have been doing a lot of mowing.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, the grass is good. It feeds the cows.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't complain. And your sheep. So,
the sheep.
Yeah. So I won't be like, I hate when I listen to podcasts and the same issue arises for those people over and over again. And you guys have heard me complain about grass in my garden, but
right.
It's still there.
Oh, my word. I actually went into the garden today and spent like a considerable amount of time in there, which I haven't done in a long time, because I'm convinced with, just the state of how everything is going in our nation right now that, and you said it too, like we really want a good fall and winter garden.
Yep.
Like we want the security of having the food right out in the backyard. So
yeah,
and my mower is still broke, of course. So the other day I ended up going to Home Depot and, cause I was going to look at mowers. I'm like, screw it. If nobody's going to fix my mower, I'm going to go buy one.
Uh-huh.
And so I get there and I'm like, no, I don't want to spend that much money on a new mower. Like they're expensive. So I think what I'm going to do is take my broken one to the small engine guy right down the road and see if he'll fix it up for me real quick. But when I was at Home Depot, I bought one of those non-gas, non-motorized, non-electric, just push mowers, like the old school ones
like
that have like the
kind.
spinny blades.
We have one of those.
You have one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought one. It was $100, and
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
really,
it works really good though.
It does. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. So that's what I was doing in the garden this morning. But I walked in there and I was like, oh my word,
my raised beds are full of grass that's like 3 feet tall. I hadn't been out there in like a week and a half. I could not believe it when I walked out. I was like, I looked, I kind of made a circle.
Right.
I put my hand over my eyes and I walked out.
Like, don't look. It's scary.
It's so overwhelming. It's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went around what I like to call the good part of my garden, which is the less grassy and the less weedy part. And I always have trouble with those back rows, and the edges that get so grassy and overgrown and crazy. And so I focus just on my main in-ground rows of going around those and in between my raised beds with the little push mower. And I felt much better about the whole situation when I was done. But I've come to the conclusion that I don't need a garden as big as I have. And I said this last year. I said last year, I'm going to grow smaller and more intensively because I just don't need a garden that big.
Why don't you just do fruit trees and perennials around the edges then? And then and then just heavy, deep sheet mulch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't need all the in-ground rows that I have.
Yeah.
So
I don't either until I plant onions, or something like that.
I know, because
that's
there's
when I want a lot of space.
Yeah.
When I want to bulk store something to grow. So
yeah,
you said something in all of that that got my attention, and that is you call this the good part of your garden, and you said, and that is where you focus your attention. So
yes.
Just something to keep in mind. Like
yes.
Maybe that's why it's the good part. So anyways, yeah.
It's just true.
So it's rainy season. The grass is tall. It's good for the animals. The sheep like the grass, right?
Yeah, the sheep love the grass. And you would think that at this point, with as much grass as we have, that my sheep would be totally just satisfied. But no, they're not totally satisfied. They have honed in on the fact that I have meat chickens and that the meat chickens get a lot of food.
And where the food is.
And where the food is and where the meat chickens are. So this week, and as of today, right now it's Wednesday. We're recording on a Wednesday. Just this week. Okay, so
in 2.5 days.
Since Sunday to today, my sheep have managed to bully their way into the chicken coop by pushing against the fencing that is stapled like on the gate post to the coop and busting the staples off of it so they can get into the chicken coop with the meat chickens to eat their food.
Jerks.
So I came home to a busted coop and the meat chickens were just everywhere.
Oh.
And at this point, like, we're butchering them on Saturday.
Right.
So they're
that's a problem.
They're big.
And they see you and they follow you.
They will chase me down and they will attack me when they see me. And so it's not good when they're out at this point.
It sounds like a 2-year-old's nightmare.
Like, it really is.
Like, remember when the kids were little and you take them to the park with their lunch and the ducks at the pond would attack?
Yes.
Right? It's like that. Yeah.
Yes. My daughter got bit by a duck when she was probably like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 and it hurt. So yeah, they broke into the chicken coop. And so I got that repaired and literally maybe like the next day, they know where the feed is. It's in my greenhouse. They know what the door of the greenhouse sounds like. So whenever they hear that door, they come running. And so they know that the feed is in there. And so I have a window on my greenhouse. And the greenhouse is just made out of that plastic corrugated sheets, you know.
Right.
And so underneath the window, it's just essentially like a half a sheet. And those little
boogers, stinkers,
pushed their way under the window through that plastic sheet, bent it up to all creation to get into the greenhouse to get the chicken food.
Oh my gosh. And sheep must have some ridiculous kind of memory because, okay, so we have all of our sheep. Our matriarch, our oldest sheep, she came with our property 3 years ago.
Right.
Mary got out, I don't know, once or twice 3 years ago.
Right.
And learned where all the feed is, where the feed shed is. And she would go there. And every single time if she gets out, and it's not often that she gets out now. Now it's like every 4 to 6 months she might get out.
Right.
But if she gets out, like we're going through gates and they're fast, like sometimes there's nothing you can do. They're getting out. And that's where she goes, to the feed shed. Still.
Same.
Still.
Yes.
Like, how do you remember that?
Yes.
My cows don't even do that, and they know where the feed is. But yeah, so things don't always go as planned.
No. So basically I have this big barricade of hodgepodge
To keep the sheep in one place or to keep them out of the feed?
To keep them out of the greenhouse.
Okay.
Like stacked in front of where they messed it up.
It looks nice.
It's like cinder blocks and old tables and whatever else we could find. So yeah, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've had some ridiculous going on too.
Yes.
Some like big time ridiculousness.
It's been awful. I didn't want to talk about it, honestly, like the last time we recorded because
well, it's a lot.
I didn't really know, like, there's been a lot of unknown. And so I didn't feel like I had legs to stand on to speak about what's happening. So we bought a cow like 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
She's a great cow. I got her home and raved about how perfect of a cow she is. She's so sweet and she's so beautiful and she's an excellent producer. And as it turns out, she's particularly fragile. And as Jerseys are, she's 3/4 Jersey, 1/4 Holstein. And so I really thought like that mutt, she'd have some of that mutt vigor to her, that hybrid. But she's a big producer is the biggest thing I can say. I knew that when she freshened this lactation, that she freshened with mastitis. The people I bought her from, incidentally, same people I bought Maple from, who you have now.
Right.
They're great people. They completely disclosed everything, And I said, okay, that's like mastitis at freshening is fairly common.
Right.
Like I can deal with that. Okay. No problem since then. So she was in milk. I might be wrong on the dates, but like 3 to 4 weeks before I got her.
Okay.
And they're just in a situation where there's nothing wrong with the cow. It's just life. They're traveling a lot to deal with family issues and, the season of life. They really want to keep a milk cow, but it's not for right now.
Yeah.
So they reached out and was like, yes, I definitely want her. I went and looked at her, tasted her milk, kind of saw her set up, put my hands on her. She's not kicky. She has great conformation, all the things.
All the things.
Right. Then I
literally all the things.
Found out her parentage, like super excited about her bloodlines and all of that. So being a big producer, she was giving about 6 gallons a day on twice a day milking, not calf sharing. So the people are getting all the milk.
Right.
Milking in the morning, milking in the evening, 12 hours apart, 6 gallons total, roughly.
Wow.
So,
that's a lot.
That's a lot of milk. Well, it's a lot for a family, especially. Yeah. And then if, you're not sharing that with a calf or bottle feeding anybody or anything like that. It's a lot of milk.
Yeah.
And she's a big girl, so she eats a lot. But she's a good cow and the milk is great. She's got a lot of cream, a lot of butter fat. So I was like, yeah, I can do something with this. Well, I don't particularly enjoy milking twice a day. Like I can do it through seasons as needed. So the times that we milk twice a day are when they freshen to keep them cleaned out. And we also keep a calf on them 24/7.
Okay.
She didn't come with a calf.
Right.
So there's that to keep in mind. And then when we wean calves off of them, we will milk twice a day.
So how old was her calf when she came to you?
Like 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
And so that calf just goes and gets bottle fed somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe they're bottle feeding.
Okay.
So again, I could be a little off on the age
on
and
the
time
dates,
frames and stuff like that. Yeah. So this was a situation where this particular cow wouldn't take her calf. Now, in retrospect, I think they know this too, that probably because she freshened with mastitis, so she was extra kicky,
right?
And she kept kicking her calf off. I mean, there's ways to go about that. They're kind of new in the dairy cow game, so I think I probably would have tried harder to keep a calf with mama at that point,
because that's going to help her clear out.
Exactly, exactly. There's nothing better than having the calf with them all the time. So she came to me without a calf. And I milked her twice a day for 2 weeks and said, okay, I'm done with this.
Right.
So, because we had been milking twice a day for a while already. And then we had, we didn't. We did convention.
Right.
After convention, I weaned calves off of my girls who were milking. And so I was milking them twice a day. So I was like, okay, what's one more? And really, once you're doing it, what's one more is not a big deal. So I wanted them both back down to once a day. And the way we do that is we milk 18 hours apart instead of 12 hours apart.
Okay.
For the next couple of milkings.
Okay.
So you'll get 2 18-hour windows.
Stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah, and see how they do.
Right.
They did fine. So then we went to 24. So we were on 24 hours for a week. And every day I ran a mastitis test called a California mastitis test, or CMT. It was clean every day for a week. So the last test I ran was on a Friday. Mm-hmm. Saturday was fine. Sunday was fine. Sunday night, I went out to check. I still would feed in the evening. There's chores to do even if I'm not milking. So Sunday night, I'm looking at udders still, just checking.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that looks a little bit swollen. I should, kind of just keep that information under my hat. And
right.
I'm going to run a test in the morning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, by morning, it was full-blown mastitis. So, okay. And I laugh because it's in retrospect, and I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel at this point, but it's not been a good time. We're on 3 weeks now of nightmarish, aggressive mastitis. I mean, it came on so fast.
Wow.
And she went from literally nothing to clumps and clots and strings and like toxic mastitis
right.
in that 12 hours. It was just so fast. And so I immediately contacted my vet. He called me in meds. I drove an hour and a half one way to the vet supply store and got meds. As it turned out, so I would always suggest people culture milk first before treating with meds, but we don't have a lab nearby who will do a culture.
Right, so that's going to take a couple of days at best.
Right. And so...
And then by then,
she would have been dead.
Right.
I mean, she would have been dead because it was toxic already.
Right.
So if you're new here, we lost our best girl, Hazel, exactly 2 years ago to toxic mastitis.
Right.
At calving.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't just that, I think, but that was the big thing in all of that ordeal. So I'm really gun shy about it. So at the first sign, I'm sure to jump on it. So just know that I did. So we can't really culture because that takes days. So we jumped on meds right away. The meds we got, but then you're kind of gambling because you don't know which spectrum meds are needed, right? Mm-hmm. So we started on not just intramammary meds, but because it came on so fast, we started on penicillin shots also. Now this is, remember, in the very beginning, we're thinking milk withdrawal time,
Right.
So we're following the instructions on the bottle per the vet. It's going to be a 48-hour withdrawal after the last injection. Okay. So we did that Monday, Tuesday, called him Tuesday night. He called me back Wednesday morning. I said, I'm not seeing any improvement and I'm doing more in intramammary meds. You're supposed to do two tubes.
Right.
12 hours apart. And I had been doing them every 12 hours and I'm not seeing any improvement. He said, oh, okay. I said, I don't care about the milk withdrawal at this point. We'll dump milk for 6 months if we have to. I just want her udder saved and I want her saved because she just was declining.
Right.
And he said, okay, well, you can give more. So actually, I don't think we were even doing 12 because it's 1 ml per 100 pounds. And I think we estimated 900 pounds, so 9. So he said, you can go up to 12 and do it twice a day instead of once a day. I said, okay, great. So then she would have a good day, a bad day, a good day, a bad day, and then I got to where it was holiday weekend. It was 4th of July.
Right.
Holiday weekend, of course, right?
Of course. Always on the weekend.
And so I was just desperate, just throwing stuff at her, And so we were putting Pen-G right in the teat.
Right.
We're using Dex as a steroid, dexamethasone, that helped. And really and truly, the Dex helped her more than anything. So Dex is it's tricky. You can't use it with them when they're pregnant over 90 days. It'll cause abortion. Okay. And we think she's bred. But when this all started, we're she's probably 40-ish days bred. And so the vet was no problem, yeah, it's up to you, but I would definitely do it. So, and we also thought if we have to rebreed her, we can rebreed her.
Right.
That's the worst case
not the end
scenario.
of the world.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was more concerned about birth defects. I don't want to have her deliver a calf that has no face or something. You know what I mean? I mean, those kinds of things happen. And so that was my concern. And he even made a joke about it last night. But
of course he did.
Of course he did. Yeah. He's a great vet. He really is a great vet. So anyways, Dex helped. You have to taper off of it. So she'd get a big dose and then the next 2 days she'd get smaller doses. And then the 4th day she wouldn't get a dose. And you could tell by the end of the 4th day when that Dex was wearing off, she'd flare up. So I'd see swelling again. I'd see clots again, fever, all the things,
Golly.
I know. And so
it's such a roller coaster too, because it's one day oh, she looks like she's doing good. Yeah. She looks like she's getting better. And then the next day
she's off not feed, so much. She's got
terrible.
A fever. She's limping. It was everything. So then a week into it, he came and saw her. And I had been in touch with him, the whole time.
Right.
But, a week later, after the holiday weekend, he came and saw her early in the morning and said, okay, we're going to increase the penicillin to 20 ml twice a day. So she went from 9 in a day to 40 in a day. We did that for a week before he was okay, this is obviously not working. And I'm I know.
Right.
It's obviously not working. He said, stop that right away. Her hips, poor thing. She was getting so many shots.
So many
between
injections.
That, the Banamine, the Dex.
Yeah.
Like it was so much. So I start doing my own reading. Well, at this point, like we could send cultures in, but they're going to be inconclusive because she's had so many antibiotics, right? And different things in the teat and, So I start doing some reading and decide that I need this really super expensive antibiotic. It's called Draxxin if you're listening and you're familiar with cow meds.
As if it hasn't already costed a lot of money.
Right. Right. Yeah. Not only can I not sell her 6 gallons a day, like losing that. I mean, I'm still feeding her,
Yeah.
I'm still calling the vet. I'm still buying meds, all of the things. So I decided that this looks to me just through my own like Dr. Google research,
Right.
like E. coli mastitis or some kind of coliform mastitis.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my best guess at this point. So I called the doctor and he said, okay, I don't think it's going to work, but I'll call it in for you. Whatever you want to do. It's worth a shot, basically. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I got some different meds tubes to put right in the udder. So, and I know like that sounds horrible if you're not familiar with milk cows to have to put something up in the udder. Like it sounds horrible and painful. Never has bothered them. Never. Even when they have these horrible mastitis like this. I've never had one who just wouldn't let me do it. So it must not hurt.
Right.
It must be fine. And she was like very kicky. Like we had to go back to the kick bar to like massage and all this whole time. But putting meds in, it's been fine. So just as a side note, don't be afraid to do that if you have to do it. It's not that big of a deal. So I got new meds. The Draxxin is supposed to be like a one and done, like one shot and done.
Okay.
I did 2. So just to be safe. So she had one last Thursday night and then Friday morning, her udder, and she had the new meds in the udder. Her udder was considerably smaller.
Nice.
Check. She was super hungry.
Good.
Check. No fever.
Nice.
She came in with the other cows. She was socializing with the other cows. She
Good.
wasn't withdrawn. Like I was so optimistic. I was so excited.
Right. Like finally.
Yeah. So Friday night I was going to give her a second shot and she needed some other things, some other meds too. And she comes in and she's like meeting me. I went to go get her and she's to come in and she sees my rope and lays down. Well, she's gotten a little bit like, I don't want to go in there. You know, like I know this is going to hurt.
Right.
And I don't want to be messed with.
That's where stuff happens.
That's where you're going to do stuff to me. Yeah, exactly. So she laid down. So I thought she was just being a drama Jersey girl. You know, I'm like, come on, get up, being obstinate. And I'm like pushing on her and tapping on her rump, making her think she's going to get a shot so she'll get up.
Right.
And, she wouldn't. She just wouldn't. Then I realized she couldn't. Like, it's not that she won't, but she couldn't get up.
Right.
She went down. And all of my people went out of town.
Oh.
And there was a lot of lightning coming.
Oh, my word.
At night.
Of course. This is going to happen.
It was like, so on a Friday night when like the vet's not coming, it was just awful. The whole thing was awful.
Right.
So.
The vet's not there. The husband's gone. The boys are gone. Like you're literally there by yourself.
Yeah. By myself. Yep. With a 900-pound cow that I can't get up.
And this, listeners, is how our podcast name was formed.
That's exactly right.
Yes, the American Farmsteadhers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you got to put on your big girl britches and go do it yourself.
And go do it. Yeah. So, right. So I'm thinking like, well, okay, I can give shots with her laying down. So I did that.
Right.
She absolutely needs these meds in the udder. If nothing else, if she doesn't get up, I have to get this in the udder. So I'm trying to get her at least rolled by myself,
Right. 900-pound cow.
Right, exactly. It wasn't working. Our great friend Emily, who does goats,
Right.
We've mentioned a couple of times in the past, she happened to be driving by with her husband. She's like, we're coming to help.
Right.
Praise the Lord Jesus for Emily and her husband. And And two, like, and I said this to her later, like, I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot. Like, she does goats. She has cows too, and I do cows, and I have done goats. I have sheep. And like, a lot of the meds are similar.
Yeah.
A lot of the like mastitis issues are similar. So like, I know I can bounce info off of her.
Yeah.
And get feedback, like, do this or don't do that, you know?
Yeah, she's super smart when it comes to stuff like that.
And level-headed.
Yeah.
Right. And I was in like the emotional
You're
moment.
yeah.
And so I was like,
Right.
what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And I just like, I know the answers to these sometimes. And I had a similar situation just with Eric, like the prior weekend, like where he's rifling through my meds. And I'm like, what? You don't even know what that's for. But it snapped me into this moment of,
right.
But you do. So figure it out.
Right.
You know, like, okay. So yeah, I'm throwing ideas at her, and she's like, here's what you need to do. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I need you to do it.
Right. So, because the emotions are just so high.
Yeah. And it just was, it was just a traumatic night, you know?
Yeah.
And I really thought I'm about to lose this cow.
Right. Or my life, because I'm out in the pasture in the lightning.
Jeez.
Good gravy.
I love a good thunderstorm, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be hanging out under the trees in the lightning storm. It was bad. It was really bad.
I know what night you're talking about.
It was bad.
It was bad here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we, I guess the only thing I can say is maybe the decks that I had given her before they got there kicked in and gave her enough oomph to get up. She got up and she was unsteady. She was shaky. She couldn't like straighten out her fetlocks really well.
Right.
So it was scary. So I didn't even try to bring her in. I just stripped her out the best I could right there and did the intramammary meds there and put my hands on her and said a prayer.
Right.
And then the best damn vet in the world called me back at 9:30 on that Friday night.
Yeah.
As I was in tears in my milk room. And he's like, you did everything you could do. You did everything fine. Wanted to know a couple of things and we talked through the best we could. And I said, I think this is what I'm dealing with for real. And he's like, okay. Well, we'll deal with it, you know?
Right.
And so a couple things that Jerseys in particular like to do, because they're Jerseys, is ketosis is a big deal, like where they just start burning their own fat. And like, a lot of times, like only those transition periods is when this happens. Like when they freshen is the big one. They'll get, and it becomes an acidosis issue, or if they're off feed, their rumen gets upset. And so I didn't think it was that because you can smell that on their breath usually. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, her milk did smell funny, but I chalked it up to meds before.
Right. She had so much at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But so she had that first shot that night before she went down. By the next morning, her milk didn't smell funny anymore. And not like rancid funny, not like putrid funny, like chemical funny. Yeah. Looking back, I think it might have been ketosis.
Okay.
So I started her on some like sweeter feed, got her some sugars and carbs and stuff like that. But that night I suspect she presented like milk fever, which was weird because she's drying off. So that shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
But she is a Jersey girl.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And that's what the vet said. Like, he's like, usually you'd only see that within like the first week of freshening, but she's a Jersey and they just, the wind blows the wrong way or you look at them the wrong way and they decide they're going to go down and they're going to have these weird things that you don't normally see.
Right. So
we treated her. Before he had called, I had given her a tube of CalMag paste, calcium magnesium. Yeah. And
because why not?
Because why not? Exactly. I was like, yes, B complex? Sure, why not? And so he said, when he called, he said, yeah, definitely keep up like with Banamine. Well, what we determined, and so this is something good. Here's a good little tip for everybody, because I didn't expect this. I didn't know this.
Okay.
But what we decided was probably not the shot, the Draxxin medicine, probably the intramammary meds that she had started on were killing the infection. Whatever it was, new antibiotics were killing the infection. Those bacteria release endotoxins.
Right.
And it basically poisons them.
Right.
And it sends them into shock. That's what was happening. So then anything can happen.
Yeah.
So the CalMag must have helped. The Dex must have helped. Banamine is a big helper for that. And so I ran back out and gave her, I had 5 ml of Banamine left. That's all I had. And by now it was like 10 o'clock at night. So I went out in the rain. It was still raining. Went out in the rain in the dark. I had to go find her though. But that was a good sign to me because she wasn't down.
Because she got up and moved.
She got up.
Yeah.
She went to join the rest of the herd who walked all the way around
Okay.
the other pastures.
Okay.
So, yay.
Right.
And then when she saw me coming with the light, she tried to get away from me.
Right.
So,
Which is another good sign.
Yeah, that was all good. But I grabbed her. She had her shot. And then I put hands on her and prayed, thank you, Jesus, for this time and this experience and the lessons and the cow. And I need you to please heal her now.
Right. There's got to be
her.
some good in it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. So now thinking that it's the coliform, we moved from Draxon to Exceed. Mm-hmm. And I got in touch with the people that I purchased her from to ask more questions. Actually, she happened to message me out of the blue, like
really
totally randomly that night.
Wow.
Hey, how's she doing?
Oh.
And I was like,
are you really ready for this answer?
I'm glad you asked because I wanted to ask her anyways, like what meds did they treat when she freshened? Mm-hmm. And she sent me pictures of what that mastitis milk looked like. And I think it's the same thing. So which would tell us it's like a subclinical issue that she never really got rid of.
Right. It was in the background.
Yeah. And so then it would flare with transition. So it flared with her freshening.
Right.
And then it flared here when we went down to once a day milking. Right. It stresses the body. The heat that we're experiencing stresses the cows. And she in particular seems to have a real hard time with the heat. Mm-hmm. So, the vet said it probably just was a perfect storm for something she has going on in there to come up. Yeah. So we're hoping that now we have a new med, the 3rd antibiotic by injection. This one's pretty horrible. It's Exceed. It's very expensive. Thank God I didn't have to buy it. I was able to meet the seller of the cow. Okay. A couple nights ago. And so she met me halfway.
And she had some?
She had some from when she freshened.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it was prescribed to this cow.
Interesting.
Yeah. And she had
could have been what she needed all along.
I'm sure it was, but we didn't know that.
Right. She didn't know. I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. So, I mean, I wish we could have known. I wish a lot of things, but hindsight's 2020. And
right.
So here we are. We're 3 weeks in. She's on her 3rd med. It's only 2 shots. She had 2 nights ago. She gets the 2nd shot tonight, and it's an awful one. It goes in like the fat pad behind the ear. Mm-hmm. It's a very sensitive area.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a lot. It's 18 milliliters.
Wow.
And so, like, you have to secure them. So it's horrible. It bled. It was nasty. It was so bad, but it's helping for sure. And so, in all of this, she's lost weight. Yeah. Right. Her. She hasn't had diarrhea, which is something the vet keeps asking. She hasn't had diarrhea, but her rumen is definitely off. Like, I can tell something's not right there. And she's been like, her feet, like her hooves needed to be trimmed so badly. And I knew that when I got her. But when you call the hoof trimmer, you don't want to have just one cow done. Like, and he doesn't want to travel to do one cow either. Right. Like if he's coming and I'm going to pay a bunch of money, then I'm going to get it all done. Right. Yeah. So I've been waiting until everybody was bred and like not short bred. Because if you do it under 45 days, then it's not, you risk losing pregnancy. So all that to say, I was putting it off. And she came in limping yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. What
now? Yeah. And so I thought I heard a crack in the hoof, but I couldn't tell if it was like the hoof has a crack or her toes are rubbing together. Okay. Because they're so long. Yeah. And so I called him. He came on emergency call, thank God. And he did as many cows as he could before it started to rain. And he said, no, her hooves are long, but they're good. There's no cracks.
That's good.
But her feet all have laminitis.
Which I did a little bit of reading on that, and I read that E. coli mastitis can cause that.
Yes, it can.
And their rumen being off
Yes,
can
it
cause
can.
that.
Yeah, so
And
that's what he said.
And
He
poor
asked.
thing.
So
It just snowballed
it
on
does.
her.
Yeah, exactly. So he used a tool to squeeze the hooves,
Right.
And some of them, you walk them in there. If you're not familiar with this, it's really neat. You walk the cow into this contraption, and then it closes on them like a chute, and then it tips so that
Lays them on their
it
side.
lays them on their side, exactly. And so some of them are like, holy moly, what's going on? And they're very kicky, and they're whining. It's kind of funny,
Right.
because they're fine,
Right.
But you feel for them too. But she wasn't like that. She's so chill, and so she just walked in there, and she didn't kick in that until he'd squeezed the foot, and so you could tell every time you touch the foot, it's very sensitive. Yeah, so she's walking her feet hurt, and so the trim did help. I'm thankful there's no abscess or break or,
Right.
all the joints are fine and all of that. So that's good. But she does have sore feet in it. And I asked, I didn't even ask. He asked me, he said, he turns around and he says, has she been off feed? And I said, no. I said, she's a dairy cow. She gets a lot of feed. And I said, but she has been sick, and it's been a good day, a bad day, a good day, a bad day. And on the bad days, she nibbles.
Right. Not regular eating.
Right. She leaves feed
Yeah.
in there, and she has free access to hay, but
Right.
it's same thing. It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, so she's been sick. And I said, yeah. And he said, so it can be caused by several things, but illness would be the most common, recent illness. So yes, that adds up. So we're dealing with that. So I could talk to the vet again.
So what's the treatment for that? Or does it just get better as they get better?
It's time. It just gets better. So you can use anti-inflammatory. So she's on Banamine. The vet told me he could prescribe me something that's not for cows that we could try. So we're still on the fence about that.
Okay.
I kind of want to see if we can get her gut fixed.
Yeah, before you throw anything else at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her gut's probably destroyed.
Right.
Just like us, if we were to take a whole bunch of different antibiotics.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Our insides would not be right.
So that's that. She's okay. She's here. When you asked, how's the cow?
Right. I ask, should I ask, how's the cow, Donna?
She's alive. She's okay. It's not great, but it's not the worst either.
Right.
So I think we're in the home stretch.
Right.
We are drying her off. I am getting refills of medicines because you don't want any kind of anything going on in there when you dry them off. Mm-hmm. And then I really hoped to be able to culture her milk before we dried her off, but I don't think she's going to have any milk left by the time we wait long enough after meds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
probably not.
Probably not. So because it's going to be several weeks before her system is purged of everything.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I feel like this episode should be called, So, You Want a Milk Cow?
Think twice. No, stuff comes
Which is
up.
not, yeah. This isn't like the normal situation.
No,
here.
it's not. And so in 10 years of us having cows, we've had several cows that have come and gone. And of the milk cows, we've dealt with mastitis a handful of times. And, and I've said it, I know I've said it recently. It's not if, it's when.
Right.
Right. We've never dealt with something like this.
Yeah.
Though. So I guess, other than losing Hazel.
Right.
That was pretty significant and severe, but
yeah.
And that was other things happening too at the same time. So
and that's the thing. And that's usually been the case when we've had issues with cows. It's one thing and then it's another thing,
right.
And stuff really starts to snowball on them, and that's when they get into trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes with cows, they just get depressed and they just lay down and that's it. Mm-hmm. You have to keep the morale up somehow. And that's hard to do. You never know how they're going to react to anything.
Yeah.
So She's buddied up with Willow.
That's good.
Yeah, they're my two chill girls. They both have a hard time with the heat. So
Okay.
we have a mister line set up to mist them, and they pretty much hang out under the mister together.
Nice.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good sign, though, that she's buddied up with somebody. She's up and moving around.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just up from here.
Yeah. So the last ditch effort, the vet recommended like slicing the teat open and draining everything out. I was like, oh. And when he has seen her, he's like, I don't think we're there.
Right.
But then when I talked to him last night, he said, how long is this going on? And I'm like, 3 weeks. And he says, yeah, we could have avoided all this if we would have just sliced that teat open in the beginning. I'm like, but you said.
Right.
And here's the thing, like.
Right. He said, I don't think we're there yet.
Right.
But hindsight.
Right. And then at that point, like the quarter's dead if you're going to do that. You're
Yeah.
gonna if it's not dead, you're going to kill the quarter. And,
Right.
And I'm not convinced the quarter's dead because I'm still getting milk out of it.
Right.
So not much. But
you do the best you can with the information that you have and what you know.
at the time.
At the time. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Just like Dr. Brewy, we shoulda, coulda. But, even originally he was like, eh.
Right. And originally we were thinking like high doses of Pen G. We're going to do it.
Right. But now almost 4 weeks later, it's like, yeah, maybe but,
We couldn't know. So
you don't know.
what I came away with is we don't have a lab nearby to do proper cultures. So I'm going to learn to do it myself.
Yeah.
Farmsteadhers.
Right. Yes.
Why not?
Why not?
What are you thinking?
Why not? Just like with everything else. Well, why not?
Why can't I do that?
Why can't I?
Yeah. So I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure it out. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's going to be some trial and error, but
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I say go for it.
yeah. Yep.
All right, friends. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I think we're pretty much on a 2-week schedule for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we will definitely be back in 2 weeks. Who knows what we're going to be talking about because you never know what's going to be
What
happening
comes up
on
in
the
life.
homestead.
Right. Yeah. We've got some ideas too. So stick around, come back, and in the off weeks, maybe listen to an oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Sounds good, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.